We have crossed London at a breakneck speed. We could have knocked someone over, and naturally I had to pay the cabbie out of my own pocket.
Watson, stop complaining. We have to analyze the clues found at the bishop's house.
Welcome back, gamers. Alright, so same as usual, if you're looking for a specific puzzle or scene, check the scene selection in the descriptions. Alright, so now we're back in Holmes's apartment. I'm going to do some lab work with his homemade lab equipment. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I usually like to start from left to right, top to bottom, so let's start with the rope.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
Alright, so notice there are some things on the rope, so let's grab those pincers.
A lot of fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but they are too small for me to examine them.
Alright. Let's check out this black stuff right here.
Black and damp earth.
Alright, just examine a little bit more.
This rope is only worn on one side.
Okay, you want to remember that. Of course, someone will remember it for you. Alright, on to the next piece of evidence.
This fragment of stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it with one of my products.
Alright, so let's grab this acid right here.
This stone appears to be the same as those found within the rope's fibers. I can see something.
Alright, so let's grab that scalpel.
This stone is granite, covered in black paint. The fragments found in the rope and this piece of granite come from the same place.
Alright. So, on to the next one, grab that scalpel.
There is something written on this scalpel. I should clean it.
Grab some water.
I can see something.
Alright, grab a brush.
Ah, I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
Alright, on to the last piece of evidence.
Fragments of skin. A phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off. It was ripped off. Tooth marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine. I can see something.
So there's stuff under the fingernails. Let's grab those pincers.
Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. I must compare the samples of earth that I found.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery.
Alright, so let's get to comparing.
I must compare the samples of earth that I found. And if I mixed this earth with another substance...
Alright, grab the water.
Now it must all be...
Alright, so wants you to mix it. Grab the scalpel.
The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it.
Alright, so if you explored Holmes's apartment earlier with Watson, you know where the book is. Let's check out the newspaper. More interesting read. I've already read it, so I'm just going to skip it, but have fun reading it.
Read the paper, Holmes.
And here's the book.
Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Take it back to Holmes.
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
Alright, so we'll do the book right after we check out the chemical compounds of the vial that we found at Kingsbridge. On to the next machine.
I need something.
That's right. So pull it out. Alright, so the way this one works is you put this one in here, the compound that you're going to analyze. Alright, so there it is, and you rotate for each color, and then a number of these little chemicals will pop out here, and remember how many there are and list it. I believe it's random, so you can't just put whatever I put down. Let's start with orange. Alright, remember those? 1 blue, 1 brown, 2 green. And just keep going on around until you use every single one of the 5 chemicals. 3 brown, 2 gray. Next. 2 brown, 3 gray. Two green, 1 blue. Three green, 3 brown.
Poison, and apparently very virulent.
Alright, some more notes.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
Alright, this one is on the desk over here. The rat killer. Bring it back to Holmes.
According to these documents, Hans Schielmann, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Sheilman tomorrow. I haven't finished my analysis.
Alright, so with that, let's go visit the deduction board. Knightsbridge. So on to the last page. Alright, so let's check out the bishop. Should nod himself. The bishop tore off his aggressor's finger off his teeth. Ring has some blood at its top. The flask contains a poison that causes madness. Alright. Alright, with these two combined, with the poison put in it, the bishop probably went mad. And this one. Of these three, this one probably makes no sense. The murders made the bishop drink the contents of the glass. And with all three combined, the murderers had a poison that causes madness. Or you could totally go off when the murderers are vampires, which is totally ludicrous. But I wouldn't put it past Sherlock Holmes' game or something like that. But anyway, there we go. The deduction board.
Well done, Watson. Our board is finished. It confirms that the bishop's murderers work for one person, who, amongst other things, possesses a very sophisticated poison. They therefore act for someone more educated than themselves.
Alright, and now to find the location of where all the evidence leads to. So, go ahead into the book. Right there. So all of the Holmes has found out so far, fill these out. The rope was manufactured with a worn side, unlikely. It was used from the same side the rope was near. So this seems more likely. Tap earth brought in the bishop. So he already said it came from a pit. Fragments of granite painted black. You don't know if it's a wall. Paint, you don't know. So this one seems more likely. Right. The rope used for tying up boats. We already deducted it didn't come from a riverside. The rope is used in a well. Could be. But here's one mentioning of a pit. Alright, to the next one. The earth and the fragment of granite comes from a building. Could be. So it could come from a pit near monuments. Near more mention of a pit. From a cave, unlikely. Alright, so let's go into a pit from the monuments. Alright, on to the final deduction. The rope and grave. Come from a building undergoing repairs. From a tombstone factory. Yeah. So, these, one coming from a grave, since it's a pit, seems the most likely. Alright, oh, looks like there's one more. Tombstone near a tombstone factory, my clinic, construction site is near graves. So this one seems the most likeliness.
Now I can make the right decision.
There you go. Alright, now to pull out the book. So all these dispensaries, but only one is near a cemetery.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
You remember Wiggins and his gang, the Baker Street irregulars?
Yes, the street urchins, whom you employ upon occasion, and Wiggins is their leader.
Yes. Well, I have hired their services again. I have instructed them to find out the address of the bishop's nephew.
I think he's here.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, my young friend, have you found the information for which the good Dr. Watson is going to pay you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, it was easy.
Very well, I understand. Here are a few pennies.
Thanks, Dr. Watson. The man you're looking for lives near Kensington.
Does he live alone?
Yes, but he rents a room for an old lady.
Did she see you?
No, Mr. Holmes, no one saw me.
Perfect. Watson, give our young friend another shilling as a reward for his discretion.
Here we go again. But of course... I'm falling asleep, Holmes. Aren't you tired?
No, I have an exceptional constitution. I can't remember ever having been fatigued by work. Idleness, on the other hand, exhausts me completely. Go to bed, Watson. The night will be short. We leave at dawn.
Wow, this is a real adventure. It's exciting. I like it better than made-up stories. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading. I'm going to.
Ah, I want to listen to.
My readers must excuse me if I do not describe in full detail here the terrible images which haunted me that night.
I had a sense that something extraordinary would take place, but I was scarcely prepared for the reality of it.